Over the last 3 years, this podcast, we're on episode 170 now. So we're we're going on for like the 4th year in a row with this podcast. Every week we're doing this thing. And so we've built this community now, okay? We've got people commenting on the clips and the episodes and the Spotifys and the iTunes and the subscription and everything. We've got so many things going. We've got our own little kind of community, and I hear you. The feedback comes in. I read and attempt to respond to. I'm pretty sure I got 100% covered. I respond to every single comment on this YouTube channel. And the number one thing is the button. Levi, the button makes my ears bleed.
Levi,
the button makes
bro,
me shit
you gotta
my pants.
stop
The
it with
button,
the button.
Tastes like burnt coffee. I can't stand the button. The button smells like my wet dog. I can't stand it, bro. You gotta stop it here. The sound effects. If you press the button, how many times do I have to press it again? I can't stand it. The button, my whole family caused you destroy life on Earth. We have to hear it one more time. That's it. No more Christmas gifts for the kids. One comment says, God, the button could only save us from the button. I can't stand the button. The button is hatred. I can't stand both of my 4 people now that we stopped pressing the button. And soot and dirt, and there's just grime and nothing else. Every time you hit the button, I hit my button. My ears get so tired of it, and I think destroys life on Earth. Not like having to hear. So please stop pressing the button again. Every time you hit the button, I hit my dog and destroy life on Earth. This last comment that we have here: if you ever press the button again, I will find out where you live, break into your house, drown your dog Lou Bug in the bathroom sink for you to only wake up to his wet, unresponsive body the morning of Christmas, when your son and family should be the happiest. Your most prized and cherished family pet will no longer be with you, and you'll have to find him and explain to your family and your son on Christmas morning that this happened because someone broke in after I pressed the button on episode 168 of the podcast 17 times too many. And then that's why they had to find out where we live, break into the house, unalive the Frenchie, the Buddha, Lou Bug, the poor innocent creature, and for only us to find him on Christmas morning only because I pressed the button 18 times in 13 minutes. And with all that being said, I hear you, okay? I hear your concerns. I hear you loud and clear, which is why I've talked to and consolidated. I've talked to Jeff. I've talked to Paul. I've talked to Justin. I've talked to Megs. I've talked to my son. I've talked to everybody in my life. I've asked them, what should we do? Here's all the comments. Read these. What should I do about the button situation? And so we all got on a Zoom call together. I talked to all of them individually. We texted about it. I talked to my therapist. Like, this whole situation for the last, I don't know how many weeks, 4, 5, 6 weeks now, 7 or 8 weeks, that we've introduced this new kind of sound effect of a button that everyone just seemingly seems to kind of sort of hate. And so what we have decided as a group, my family, my closest friends, my business partners, my advisor, the people I pay, the people with my friends Carlos, 280 plus, we've all decided and we've come up with one solution. It was a unanimous. We took a vote. We could have gone one way. We could have gone the other way. But we all decided that for the best of the podcast, the community, the subscribers, the channel, everything that we've built thus far, if we want it to continue to grow, if we want to continue to have listeners and new people come in and enjoy the clips and the episodes from week to week, I mean, the only reason we're getting the dislikes and the downvotes and the negative comments is because seemingly this button. So what we have all decided on is one thing and one thing only, and that is going into 2025, what we had prior was just a single a single button to play the sound clip. And so that has been removed from the soundboard. And instead, what we have now is the same button, but 4 times.
What are we doing? 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 What are we doing?
I'm like the guy at the orchestra. Hey, I'm like Justin Bieber in that one clip where he's like, hey, you come in hard. You come in soft violin, go like this, da, 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 go like this, da, da, da. And I'm like,
what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm like, da, 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 do this.
What are we doing?
Do this, da, da, da. I'm like Justin Bieber conducting a goddamn orchestra.
What are we doing?
This is the only way to move forward. It's what the people want. It's what we have got, the message we have read between all the lines and gotten it loud and clear. My friends and family agree that the best way to move forward, now we have more. We can amplify this times 2 again. So if you thought 4 was not enough, let me know in the comments below again. And we can make it 8, so I can just have 8 of the same button.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
So let me know. And if going into 2025, we can add 6 or we could do 8 total. And I think I have a whole nother page. We could add another 8 to the soundboard to play all at the same time. And so it's kind of like, we're not really ripping it off, but now that we kind of think about it in retrospect, we kind of are. But consider it's kind of the same thing. You know how all of you like love and accept and Jimmy Fallon and now Mr. Beast's best friend, Hassan, like everybody, all the actual people on the internet and of society that give a shit, love and are best friends with now the Costco family. And so it's kind of like their thing. It's like, oh, we got to give this double chunk chocolate cookie 3 big booms. So like now what I can do is I can start ranking things on a scale of 1 to 4 big booms. And if something, say, is like a 3 out of 4 booms, we can do a boom.
What are we doing?
That's 3 big booms for the Wad Pod. You know what I mean? So we've taken all that, and that's pretty much what we've come up with for the holiday season. Consider it our gift to you, the people, the audience. You're going to be hearing 4 times as much of that button moving forward in every episode. And so that we're pretty proud of that. We came up with that just a mere few minutes. I told everybody, cast your votes. And then they did, and that was pretty much the unanimous one. Fucking Uncle Jerry was the only one who voted against it because he, like, for whatever reason, says the button's toxic. I don't know. I don't understand what that means. But he voted no. Everyone voted yes. And so now we've got the 4P. And we're giving that vote 4 big.
What are we doing?